What's up, boys? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to run one of the best offenses in Madden 24, and I promise you it's going to help you win more games online. You guys know me, you've watched my videos for like the past few years, like you know I'm always been a bunch demon. So like if bunch offset is good, and in particular double post is good, your boy's going to be running bunch. So we're going to do the full breakdown today. We're also going to cover this formation right here, bunch strong nasty. It's a new formation in Madden 24 this year. So we're going to go over some plays and runs out of that. There's a really good RPO in it as well. So if you guys are new, like, subscribe, comment down below if this video helped you, and everything like that. So we do the Panthers theme team usually, but we're doing our yearly tradition of bunch offset out of the Eagles playbook. I've just now noticed this is like my third year in a row doing this. So, but yeah, real quick before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that this is Madden 24 that we're playing right here. As you can see, this is Madden 24. I had someone comment on the video, on my run defense video, talking about this looks like Madden 23 gameplay. Brother, this is very clearly Madden 24. So hope that cleared everything up. So yeah, going over audibles here, like I said, again, I'm in the Eagles playbook, but as far as audibles go for bunch offset, I'm really changing the top two to Z spot and go. That's going to be our flood play. And then we're going to change inside zone to the read option play. And even if you're not running a dual threat QB, it's still good to have the read option in there as opposed to the inside zone, because the blocking is just better, I feel like, and it's a lot harder to shoot. So you got that there. So and then these two we leave the same, and then we go to bunch strong nasty, one tick over. And then the only thing I'm going to change is I'm going to put RPO read bubble at the bottom right there, and then everything else I'm going to leave the same. Anyways, first play is double post. I forgot to mention, you're going to come out and double post every single time. Okay, so that way, because this is your power play. Okay, this is the play you're going to run against every defense, and you can get yards on it. So no matter what defense they're in, if you run this play with this setup right here, all you got to do is drag the point receiver, just take him off that crossing route. This is a really good meshing combo against any type of zone coverage, and it's also doing really good against man, because the two in route or the two drag routes from the running back and the point receiver will pretty much cook man every time, and as well as that post route. And I know route running is a thing in this game, so like if you're playing on all pro, you want 85 or better medium route running. I have Devin Hester on this route with 82 medium route running with no route chem boost, and he just cooks this route every time. So here against cover 3 zone, you're going to see we have the tight end right off the bat. So if they give you that, you take it every single time. Okay, don't be trying to be greedy, push the ball down the field. If they give you this tight end every play, you need to throw that shit, all right? Because you need to make them respect it, because this route is like one of the most unpickable routes in the game. Like, it's really hard to throw a pick on this play when you're throwing this route, unless they have like a 0-yard flat. So you can pretty much see that this is automatic every single time, unless they shade underneath with like a 0-yard flat. A lot of times you can still throw it even then. And so the next thing on this play, we're going to go over this meshing combo between the running back and the drag route. If you throw that running back late in the play, he has the potential to develop into a bigger play, because the tight end will probably more than likely throw a block for you. So you see we throw it in the soft pocket in the zone, and then we can gain yards that way, and our drag is also open as well. So we're going to throw the drag. Now the drag might get matched here for some reason. Yeah, the drag gets matched, causes an overthrow, but most of the time that's not going to happen. Practice mode is just weird sometimes. But yeah, and then the money route on this play is always the post route. Like, if they're not usering in that area, you can pretty much throw it every single time, cut the ball off with the aggressive catch, or you can freeform it a certain way and pass lead down and get the possession catch that way. So yeah, this play is like my favorite play in Madden. Like, it's always my favorite play every year. I haven't ran bunch offset the last couple years, just because I felt like there were other offenses that were better. But yeah, this is like this is my favorite play to run in the entire game, and I will run this. I'm probably run this play if I'm passing like 85% of the time, if I'm being honest. All right, now we're gonna break down double post against man coverage. Now, depending on what type of man coverage it is, it depends on what kind of shading there is. So if you're playing against someone who's running a lot of cover 2 man, I want you to automatically think that there's shading underneath, because a lot of people don't know this. This is not cover 2 man that I'm showing you right here. This is cover 1. So like different man coverages have different default shades, if that makes sense. This is getting really nerdy when it comes to Madden, but whenever you're playing someone who's just spamming cover 2 man, and you're wondering why your drag routes are getting bagged and clamped and everything, all your underneath routes are getting bagged. That's because their coverage is default to shade underneath. So if you have any kind of seam streaks you can hit them with, you could pop them with those. And then post routes, I'm sure corner routes are still going to work too. But this is cover 1. And the most common type of like man coverage you're going to see is probably Mike Blitz 0 or like dollar spinner, like cover 0 when it comes to man coverage. So, but for the sake of me not getting sacked every player, we're going to show it against cover 1 hole or cover 1. So you're going to see that the post route, the 2 drags are the main reads that we're looking at. And if you feel like you're getting pressured, you can always block your tight end. And so this setup I feel like is really good right here. And you hike the ball, and then you can see the drag route cooks. We got sacked, but you can see the drag route cooked. We'll show that again. So drag route gets open pretty consistently, and then but of course the main route we're looking for is that post route against man coverage. That is absolutely going to cook. And this is Devin Hester against Deion Sanders, and Deion Sanders has like 90 man coverage, so just keep that in mind. That's why he's playing so tight. So if we flip this play and run the post route with Chad Johnson against Richard Sherman, who has like 82 or 83 man coverage, you're going to see like a noticeable difference. You see how he just like smokes on that route. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Like I said, if you feel like you're being pressured, just block the tight end. That's another thing I like about bunch offset over gun bunch, is because regular gun bunch you can't block your tight end, but in bunch offset you can. So that is another reason I feel like bunch offset is better than regular bunch. So yeah, there's a running back in route will cook too. So all you got to do is have plenty of space. Just make your reads. Notice who's open and who's not. Don't try to force anything. And yeah, that's pretty much the full double post breakdown. So now we're going to get to the next play. All right, the next play is going to be the run play read option. Like I said, you change that from inside zone to read option in your audible screen. And the reason you do this is because the blocking, I feel like, is a whole lot better. I know we're running this against a 3-down lineman set, but in general, this is a pretty good run play. And you can pretty much rely on it to get you like at least 3 to 5 yards every time. So unless they run commit, of course. So you want to make the read. You want to almost always, especially if you don't have a mobile QB, you want to keep it with the running back. So the blocking is pretty good. All right. And if you have jukebox on your running back, you can easily take that to the house. And the thing about Madden 24 this year with run blocking is that the targeting is better. So if you really like Le'Veon Bell every run play and just kind of like be patient behind the line of scrimmage and not hold turbo, you can pretty much like feel for where your blocks are going to set up, and you can easily tote the rock. And the thing that makes this run play so good too is that this is such a heavy passing formation, so that when you do pull out the run, they're not going to expect it. So that this time we keep it with the QB. Now Warren Moon doesn't have a lot of, he has like 75 excel. That's the one downside of this card. If you have like a Lamar Jackson or a Bryce Young, you can easily take that for 10 plus. So we're going to make the read again, keep it with the QB. Like I said, the most bang for your buck that you're going to get out of this run play is if you just hand to the running back, dude. Just hand to the running back, and the blocks are going to set up really nicely, and it could potentially be a home run hitter. Now the next passing play that we're going to go over is verts halfback under. Now this is a staple play every single year in Madden. It's always good, and you can pretty much run it stock against any type of zone defense. So, and against man coverage, I like to put Jerry Rice on this post route with slot apprentice, and then just kind of block my tight end. And this is a pretty good setup right here. And if they're playing, and if you even want to max protect, you could motion this receiver in and for a max pro look and everything like that. So, but not getting into too much. You're going to run this stock against pretty much any type of zone. Against cover 3, you're going to want to look to the tight end up the seam. And you want to throw it really quickly in possession catch, get down to the ground. Don't try to be a hero, make people miss, try to rat catch it. You want to catch this ball clean and possession catch it, just like that. Just a normal bullet pass. And another read you have on this play against off cover 3 is I like to call it like an insta throw. You can call it whatever you want. I like to call it an insta throw or an insta pass or whatever. But if you have a gunslinger QB or a QB with a really fast release, you can kind of just hike this ball immediately and just throw it. But obviously you don't want to be stupid and like throw it at a hard flat. You want to read the defense. It's one of those like high level things like where you if you see it instantly, you can just hit bang just like that. And it's like a free 5 to 10 yards depending on how off their coverage is. But another read you have is this running back underneath, just like we had with double post. You just throw it in that nice pocket in the zone, hit a juke, make somebody miss. And you also, against cover 3, you have this crosser. There's a nice pocket in the zone where you can kind of like pass lead this down and possession catch it. And that you have that option too. So there's tons of options with verticals. You can do tons of things with it. You can make all kinds of different route combos. Like I said, against man, don't really run this play against man too much, but I do like to put Jerry Rice on that post route. It's a little bit more shallow than that other one, than that regular crossing route. So yeah. All right, now we're going to break down verticals against cover 2. You're not really going to see a lot of cover 2 online, but whenever you do, you want to look to hit this deep outside wheel route down the sideline, ones that passes the cloud flat. And depending on where their zone drops are set, you could hit it really easily. And ideally, you want to be on like the wide side for this. So that could be a one-play touchdown very easily. You also have this underneath as well. Like you pretty much have that. You pretty much have the running back against any type of zone coverage underneath. If they're shading, if their defense isn't like heavily shaded down, that's going to be an automatic thing. So the thing about this offense is like you want to abuse the underneath stuff as much as possible to make them respect it, and then that opens up the deep shots. So, and the same thing applies against cover 4. Like the reads I was describing to you when we were going against cover 3 is the same reads you would make against cover 4. Just against cover 2, you want to look for that deep sideline wheel route and everything. So I'm free-forming that up, and I'm surprised he held on to that. So free-form is a whole nother thing. We're not going to cover that in this video, but yeah, that's verticals against cover 2, cover 3, and cover 4. And like I said, I don't really run it against man. I wouldn't run verts against man. Now the next play in bunch we're going to go over is the play at the top of your audible screen, and that's a Z spot and go. And I pretty much run this play against zone only, so I don't really trust it against man too much. Corner routes are really iffy against man this year unless you really know how to throw them. But anyways, against cover 3 and against any zone in general, you're just gonna streak this the circle receiver to create a flood concept going from high to low. So essentially what you're doing is you're using the streak to run off any deep zone so that you can throw the corner out if they're not shading underneath. So first and foremost, if they give you the flats, take the flats. He got kind of bumped right there. But if they give you the flats, take the flats. That's, I can't say that enough. Just keep hitting the flats until they start covering it. And then this, once they start shading underneath, the streak is going to come open, and then you're going to be able to hit that throw really good right there. So that goes for cover 3, cover 4, and cover 2. So we're going to show the same play against cover 2 so that you guys can see it against cover 2. I'm not going to show it against cover 4 because it's the same thing as cover 3. So like I said, you streak the tight end, or you streak circle for your flood concept, and then if they give you the flats, you take the flats every single time. Just don't neglect the flats. And then if they give you this deep corner route, which most of the time in cover 2 they will, and you see he got bumped a little bit right there, but you can highball it, possession catch it, or you can do a little fancy free form upfield. So either one works. So I'm gonna try to free form it upfield. I don't do this too much because there's a lot of bumping in this game, but you see we free form it up, we can get a good rack animation, potentially score a touchdown. And our final play in bunch is going to be this play called PA read. Now, the only reason I leave this in my audibles is if it's like right before halftime or I need to gain a lot of yards fast. This is your one play touchdown play. and I want to flip it because you want to run it to the short side of the field. And we could very well not get a lot of time on this. We should though, because it's only a 3-man rush. But essentially, you want to max protect and streak the slot receiver, and then you're going to look for that deep post coming across the field to the short side of the field. And that comeback route by Devin Hester is going to pull down the deep zone so that you can have time to fit this ball in there. So we're going to double team to the right so that we have time to roll out. And then you could always put the tight end on a check down if you want a check down option. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be wide open every time against cover 3, and sometimes even cover 2. Like I haven't tried it against cover 2, but this is the one play touchdown money play out of this formation. And you can do it out of double post too, but I would much rather do it out of this play because the S post is a lot deeper, and so I just feel like it clears out the coverage better. So I'm gonna put a check down on the tight end on this play so that if you feel pressured, you can check it down, and it's not a big deal. So you just live to fight another down. But I'm gonna show the one play touchdown one more time before we go to strong nasty and get into some of that. So you always, like I said, you want to run this play to the short side of the field with a deep post going to the short side of the field, and you want to max protect if you can. The only reason I like having to check down is because it makes maybe the user follows the check down and it makes them hesitate just a little bit so that you can throw the one play touchdown. Because if you just block everybody like this, he's only going to see that one route. So if you want to roll out, you can, to make the throw a little bit easier. But yeah, that is the one play touchdown out of bunch offset. All right, now we're going to go one tick over to gun bunch strong nasty, and this is a new formation in the game this year. Just added to Madden 24. I really like it. I've been looking forward to all the new nasties formations in the game. You know what I'm saying? But the first play we're going over is mesh flat spot. Now this is a really good quick snap play against zone coverage and man coverage too. And all I do is streak the point receiver, and I make my high-low read from the flats, just like we were doing with Z spot and go. And then the cool thing about these drag routes is that the tight end route, and I think both of them, if it's a certain type of zone coverage, they will stop and find the nice pocket in the zone, like right there. That way it gives you a nice little check down option. And a lot of times when the user chases that route, he will over pursue, and then whenever he stops on him like that, he's like, oh junk, like what do I do now? So but first and foremost, if you have the flats every play, take the flats. And when we run this play against man, I'm going to show you something really cool that not a lot of people probably know, but we'll get to that in a second. And this corner route is really, really good against zone coverage. I don't like it against man as much because it doesn't really seem to get open. Maybe it's just because Hester doesn't have good medium route running. That's probably what it is. But this corner route is really good too. So you can throw that if the coverage allows it, and you can get a pretty good gain. And you're noticing I'm always on the right hash or the left hash. Like you always want to be running your flood concepts to the short side of the field because the streak clears the zone out better, and you don't have to motion a receiver out to put him on a streak to give your opponent a huge tell. So, if the coverage allows it, you can hit this deep corner out, possession catch it on the sideline for a good solid gain. Another setup I like against cover 3 is streaking the solo receiver over here to Ocho Cinco. And if you notice, only do this if you notice they're in cover 3 and you see their safeties move. If they're in cover 3, a lot of times you could like fit the ball into this nice pocket in the zone. And in an online game, you have a lot more space, but practice mode, I guess how it's set up, they're a little bit tighter. So this is a really good snap read if you could fit it in there. So yeah, that's what I really like against cover 3. Now we're going to show you mesh spot flat against cover 2. Same principles here. You can even do the same route combo. Now it's a little scarier, like throwing the seam streak against cover 2. Like you really have to, it's a tough throw. That's not really a throw I would make. I would still, like, if you want to put him there, you can, just to have that threat. But I would be mainly looking at the flood concept on the right. Like same thing with Z spot. Like you can highball this corner route over any type of cloud flat as long as their zone drops aren't like 25 to 30 yards. So, it really does kill zone, and you can really throw to your underneath routes too. So, and like I said, some of them stop against like zone coverage. So, that will throw your opponent off. All right, now we're going to go over mesh spot flat against man coverage. I know I'm kind of all over the place. I'm sorry. Hadn't recorded an ebook in a long time, so forgive me. But if you have slot apprentice on Jerry Rice, what I really like to do is I like to put him on a post route and block my running back. So especially if I'm facing cover 0. And these drag routes are going to smoke man coverage, as well as this post route. It's going to smoke man coverage too. If we get time, see, if you hit whatever's open first, more than likely it's going to be this tight end. That drag route will just cook, especially if you have this free Isaiah Likely and Mutt. He has 85, I think 85 short route running if I do recall. So yeah, he's going to absolutely cook on this route. Chad Johnson's going to smoke on his route, and it's just going to be like easy pickings all day long. And then I'll show you the post route. Like I said, put goat on this post route, block your running back, and then hike the ball. And this post route is really going to get open against a lot of, like, it's really going to cook man, dude. And one last thing against cover 0. This is something that I meant to mention earlier, but this is another reason this is a really good quick snap play against cover 0 coverages, is when you audible to a strong, nasty formation, like when the running back goes to the opposite side of the field, the man coverage assignment to the running back does not change unless they manually fix it. So if you just audible over real quick and quick snap, you're going to notice that the running back is really, it's like a free pitch and catch for 5, 6, 7 yards every time. So the reason this happens is because the free safety on the top left is the one that's manned up to the running back. So if you audible over and snap it right fast before they can even adjust, you can pop them with a big play to the flats. So, and you might want to save this for like really when you really need like a 4th down or something like that, if you're going up against a player that's like not the best. So, you know, just a little tidbit of information that you can put in your back pocket. All right, I moved to the middle hash for this just because I want to show you this RPO. Now, this RPO read play is really, really good, I think. You know, a lot of times you're going to end up handing it off. So like if you notice that the bubble's not open, you hold the snap like you would on a read option play to keep it with the running back, and he'll take it up the middle. So the run blocking on this RPO is really good, just like the inside zone. But if the RPO is there, you can throw it. It's a really good RPO, and you don't want to throw it instantly. You want to throw it like about right here, and you want to let the block set up. And this could be a potential house call. Like that was almost a house call right there. The only thing is that you don't want to throw it too fast, okay? Because I'll show you what happens if you throw it too fast. Because what happens is you get like you don't get a really good rack animation, and you know, the defenders can shed the blocks and tackle you. So if you're throwing the RPO, you want to make sure you wait until about right here. That way you can throw it and the blocks can set up. And if you have juke blocks on Devin Hester, juke one person and you're pretty much gone. And it's also a really good play to use inside the red zone, in my opinion, because it's not a play that a lot of people see coming, because when you're running normal pass plays a lot, they don't really see, you could pop on the RPO real quick and they won't really see it coming until it's too late. All right, the final pass play that we're going to go over is wide trail. Now, wide trail is a play that I usually go to against when I'm facing a lot of man, because pretty much there's 3 routes on this play, or really like 4 routes on this play that will all beat man coverage in some sort of way. So, but as far as zone goes, I like to block the running back, streak the circle right here, and then I like to drag the tight end. This is what I like against zone coverage, if I do run it against zone coverage. But like I said, most of the time I'm probably going to run this play against man. So especially on the short side, you have that streak to clear out the space for the corner route, like we talked about in previous plays. That's really the main thing you're doing here, is looking for the corner route. But if it's not there, you can check it down underneath to the tight end, and then you can create a high-low over the middle with this post route as well. Now this post route is a little iffy, like, you know, I probably could have thrown that a lot better, but like I said, I'm mainly running this play against man coverage. So to quick snap this against man coverage, I just would do 1 tick over, audible to wide trail, block the running back, and then snap the ball as fast as possible. And literally every route on this play is going to just roast man coverage. You got the drag underneath, and then we'll show you this tight end angle route is actually really, really good. Like, you know, tight end angles are really good last year, and I feel like they're back this year. You just want to be careful and make sure the user is not over the middle of the field when you're throwing this, and it should be automatic. And something you want to be aware of is that whoever player you block, you want to make sure that you're not like turning that defender that was manned up to him into some kind of deep zone, and that's what's gonna happen most of the time. So this is a little pro tip: if you want to throw this post route over the top, don't block your running back, because if you block your running back, the safety that was manned up to him turns into a deep third or a middle third assignment. Because you notice how that play is double covered now, and then you're kind of getting in the way of J.C. Horn too. So you don't really want to throw that if your running back's blocked. You want to, instead of blocking your running back, you want to maybe in route him and block your tight end, right? And then put Hester on a zig route. Zig routes are really, really good against man coverage. I forgot to mention that. And then block your tight end, because what blocking your tight end will do is it will turn that top right safety that was manned up to him. It will turn him on an inside or an outside third. So you have a lot more room to pass lead this post route upfield. It's just a lot more open in my opinion. Or you could try to 5 out it and risk getting sacked. So it's really risky. That's why cover 0 is so good this year, because like when you do block people, the deep zones convert. Like the safeties that are manned up to them convert into some type of deep zone a lot of times without the offensive player even knowing it, if they're just a casual. So now we're gonna go over the two run plays in here. We're going to go over inside zone. Now, this is a really good inside zone. The handoff is really fast, especially if you have a right-handed QB. You can really see how quick the handoff is and how fast the block's set up. If you hit one juke, sometimes you could be gone. We all know how good the run is in this game. So, if you're going to, this is probably the best run play in the ebook. So if you just audible over and quick snap it, the blocks just set up really nicely. Even against dollar, and I've noticed the only thing it's not so automatic against is 3-3 Cub. But even then, sometimes you'll just gash it, and then you could always double team the D tackle. You can ID the linebacker that's in the direction that you're running, and then just look how the lanes open up even more. Running the ball is so good this year, guys. Especially, I would argue that running the ball out of pass heavy formations is a lot better than out of I form and stuff like that. Just because your opponent doesn't really expect it, or they don't really prepare for it as much because they're so worried about your passing plays. All right, real quick before we get out of here, I'm going to show you guys some red zone stuff. And I really when you get inside the red zone, you pretty much want to try to run the ball. If you're this close to the red zone, just try to punch it in. Just don't try to get cute and pass the ball unless you absolutely have to. It's a much better deal if you you don't even have to run bunch inside the red zone. A really good play I like is in the wing slot formation in this stretch alert bubble. So you could run this pretty much against any type of defense in the red zone. These runs are really automatic, and as long as you don't hold turbo before you get past the line of scrimmage, you are going to pretty much be scot-free, walking in there scot-free. So they're shedding. So obviously I look bad in this. I look bad running this play. So maybe if you feel like they're shedding, you just ID the mic or whatever. And then you see that made it a lot better. So, and of course, if the RPO is open, you can throw the RPO. I wouldn't try to force it or do anything crazy, but if the RPO is there, you can throw it, and then you're in the end zone too. But if you're gonna pass in the red zone, or even this is my 2-point play a lot of times. I really like this dig return play. It's pretty much a staple play for the red zone, mainly because of this whip route by circle, because it does a good job of fooling the user, and it usually gets in that soft spot between all the zones to where the yellow zones aren't there and the flat zones aren't there. And so the only setup I really do is I put the solo receiver on a smoke screen so that you have the possibility of, highballing the in route over the middle of the field in the back of the end zone. So, but our first read is going to be, we're pretty much going to stare down the zig route. So if the zig route gets open, you can pretty much throw it. You see how it gets in that soft pocket in the zone coverage, and it cooks man coverage a lot of times too. So, like I said, just this is your 2-point play / if you do have to pass in the red zone, just put the solo receiver on a smoke screen, and then you're going to want to look for this whip route, because a lot of times the user gets fooled by it. Yeah, I know I dropped it right there, but you know, it's pretty much open every time. Okay, it's pretty much open every time. We're gonna run it one more time just so you guys can see. You know, like I said, look for the whip route, pass lead it down, and you want to be holding possession catch early so that they get that fall down animation too. So real quick, let's see if we can hit that in route in the back of the end zone. I doubt it, but see that in route on the back of the end zone. The smoke screen pulls down the zones so that you can hit it over the top. So that's pretty much it. That's the full Eagles bunch offset audible to bunch strong nasty ebook. It's a really good offense. A lot of pro players run it. I myself am running it for probably most of the year. You know, I'm excited to be running bunch offset double posts again, and so that's the main reason I really like this game this year. So from on offense anyway. But if you're new, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you're notified every time a new video goes live. And stay tuned for more Panthers theme team content as well as tip videos just like this. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.